Okay, hello everybody. We are going to go ahead and get started. This is the November HMIS user meeting. Welcome. Can everybody see my screen? And while you're answering that, please also enter into the chat box your agency name so we know who is participating in the call. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, this is our agenda for the day. We're going to give an update on the contact tab migration, as well as talk about the ROI settings in HMIS, testing for the APR, an update on agency audits and report cards, and then wrap up with the agenda for our upcoming data meeting, as well as an update on the system performance measures. So first up, really quickly, some of you may remember a few months ago when we started the contact tab migration. So this was mostly for the family coordinated entry project. The contact information was being collected on the enrollment screen, so email and phone number mostly. And when the contact tab was released by BitFocus, we were working with them to migrate all of the data from the enrollment screen to this contact tab. And BitFocus completed their part, but there was some data that couldn't be migrated over because of the format, so we had to do some manual data entry also. But all of that has been completed now. So all client contact information should now be on the contact tab in HMIS. And if that is not the case, if there's contact information that you know that you entered for a client and you're not seeing it on that contact tab, please enter a ticket with the HMIS Help Desk and we can fix that for you. And something we did want to ask the group about is if it makes sense to continue to have the email and phone number fields on the enrollment screen as read-only fields. Is that beneficial to you, or should we just completely remove them and then you'll just have to go to the contact tab in order to review that data? So if you have an opinion on that, if you could please enter it in the chat, and I'll give everybody a minute to type. I see a comment from Jessica that there is often contact tab missing in either place. If it's missing in both, it's most likely that the agency entering the data didn't enter in contact information. And we are actually going to be sending out, or Family Solutions Collaborative, I think, will be actually sending out some corrections for that kind of stuff to hopefully collect that contact data. But if you do come across a client that the contact data is missing and you think it should be in there, we can definitely check it for you and make sure it's not an issue on our end. And we can also work with Family Solutions Collaborative on getting that data collected for each client. The only feedback I'm seeing is to remove it from the enrollment screen. So unless there's any objection, we'll probably go ahead and do that because that was kind of our thought anyway. We just wanted to make sure there wasn't a huge need to have it stay on the enrollment screen. All right, so I'm not seeing any other comments or questions, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next item. Casey? Just 1 second. Casey?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. So now we're going to talk about the release of information settings in HMIS. So the setting that we've been using for most of the time we've had BitFocus is the COC-wide setting, where clients can only have one active release of information record at a time. This means that once an ROI record is added to a client's profile, the yellow banner that you see in the screenshot at the bottom will disappear, even if they go to another agency. We received a request from an agency to be able to add additional ROI records. So we, for a brief period, switched to the agency ROI setting, which means that clients have to have an ROI record uploaded for each agency they receive services at in order for the yellow banner to disappear. The HMIS policies and procedures says that clients only need one ROI record from one agency, which applies to the whole COC. So if we were using the agency setting, you could ignore the yellow banner if you wanted to, as long as they already had another ROI record. But we also received feedback that having the yellow banner appear when a client already had an ROI record was an impediment to workflow. So we're trying to get more feedback from everyone to determine which setting we should stick with. So if anyone has any thoughts on this, please enter them in the chat, or you could also submit a ticket if you think about it later. This is something we're going to not make a decision on right now, but we just want to get some more feedback.
We got a question, is there a way to access the ROI in HMIS without having to scan and upload?
Yes, so if you wanted to not scan and upload the ROI record, you could select the household option from the drop-down on the ROI page.
Or there's also the signed agency agreement, I think it's a signed paper document or something, option. So you wouldn't have to do an upload, but you just have to enter your agency name saying you were the agency that collected the ROI. We got feedback from Carmen, having the yellow banner is an impediment to workflow if the client already has an ROI. Let's see, another question, if they have the paper document, they don't need to have it on HMIS also.
If they have the paper document, it doesn't need to be scanned and uploaded to HMIS, but at least one ROI record has to be in HMIS in order for the client's profile to be shared in the system.
And that doesn't mean that the document has to be on there. It just means there's an option saying that, yes, we have the form, whether or not it's actually physically in HMIS. We got more feedback. It seems inconsistent. Oh, hold on. People are talking. It seems inconsistent for agencies. Only some clients have the ROI and not all. Are you talking about within your own agency, Christine? Or are you talking about like other household members? Another question, can you tell me if we're moving forward with the universal release form? I'm not sure which form you're talking about, Stephanie. We do have one consent form for all of our clients, if that's what you mean. And we're only required to collect one consent form for the client within the whole COC, but some agencies had wanted to be able to upload an ROI every time the client is served. But if we did that, then this yellow banner down here shows up every time for every agency until that agency puts in their own consent form, even though it's not a requirement. More feedback. I agree, the yellow banner is an impediment if they already have an ROI. Another person said the same thing. I think it's best to not show the yellow banner if the ROI is in there. We can always upload additional ROIs under the Files tab. Yes, that is true. We're kind of trying to work through that flow if we want to add another option for that on the Files tab, or if we want to just say you don't need to have it in HMIS if there's already one in there. So part of what we're going to be doing is giving a little bit of more structure around this and the best practices on how it should be handled. So we'll come out with more information on that once the final decision is made, but today we wanted to just kind of get the conversation started. So another piece of feedback. Yes, so we enter a client who has an ROI from another agency, which does not prompt us to add, but other times it may not prompt us. Interesting.
Christine, I think that may have been during the time when we switched the setting. Because we switched the setting a couple of weeks ago, and I remember some other agencies also wondering why they suddenly had to add additional ROIs.
We got a question, is there a setting that can be turned off if the agency does not want to upload an ROI each time a client is served? Unfortunately, it needs to be all or nothing, right?
Yes, we have to decide for the whole system.
So it seems like most of the feedback we're getting is that we should keep the ROI setting at the COC level, so that the yellow banner will only appear if a client has not signed a consent form at any agency. If anybody on the call feels differently, now's the time. Or you can also enter a ticket with us later if you think about it more and have some more feedback. But that's kind of the way we were leaning to. But I'll wait one more minute in case anybody's typing. Okay, so we will change it back to COC wide. I think that's actually what it's on now, but we'll put out a little more guidance on how to handle it on your options. If a client, if you want to enter a file for them and they already have an ROI on file, we can put out more guidance on that. All right. APR testing. Just 1 minute.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, hello everyone. We've been getting some tickets lately surrounding the APR submissions. So we would like everyone to please run a test export and upload it to Sage before your APRs are due in order to make sure that there are no errors. We've also recently updated the KB article on running CSV exports. So if you would like some more information on how to do it or some guidance on common Sage errors, please review it. There's been one common ticket we've been getting lately surrounding Q22E and the data not collected counts. According to the APR program specification, all active clients in the reporting period should be included in that question. So this would include clients that weren't asked originally for their approximate homeless date started question, such as children or clients that weren't considered literally homeless at program start. The APR program specs also don't say to apply the head of household's approximate homelessness date started to the household members. So that's why some of the household or the head of households would have an approximate homelessness date started, but their children may not. So you can, we are asking everyone to add a note in their APR stating that the clients counted under data not collected is due to them being children or because the data element wasn't required to be collected per the 2020 data standards, so because the clients weren't literally homeless at project start. If you need more clarifications or assistance, please feel free to submit an HMIS help desk ticket.
All right. Looking to see if there's any questions on that. And just for, as a point of clarification, if you don't know what we're talking about right now on the APR, it's most likely not required for your agency. Only agencies receiving COC funding have to submit the APR. And we do highly recommend all COC funded projects to do this APR test to make sure everything's working correctly before your submission. We got a question. It also shows data not collected for clients enrolled from TH, which is a homeless location, but that approximate start date is not prompted for those clients. Actually, Christine, in the HUD data dictionary, transitional housing is not considered a literally homeless location for the purposes of collecting approximate date started. We include transitional housing as a homeless entry because, and that was a local decision, but that is not considered a literal homeless destination from HUD to have to collect that field. Any other questions? Were you going to add anything, Myra?
No, that was it for that slide.
Okay. All right, agency audits.
So we just wanted to add in that all the agency audit invites have been sent out. So we're just waiting for confirmation for a handful of agencies. So if you're not sure if your agency has received one yet, please feel free to reach out to me directly and I can work with you on scheduling it. And that's it for me.
Right. Report cards.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Oh, good morning, everybody. So we're really close to publishing the report cards from Q3 of 2019. So this data is going to reflect the data quality corrections that you guys worked on last month. So thank you for working on these corrections and thank you for all the tickets and all the questions you entered in this regard. We really appreciate that and your efforts and work on this. So basically the report cards will be looking at two of the main components of data quality. The first is data completeness and the second is data timeliness. So first for data completeness, we're going to see the percentage of valid responses and the percentage of errors for each universal data element. But we're also going to have an overall data quality score, which is that unique indicator of data completeness for each project. So it is like an average for all the universal data elements. That is for completeness. So now for timeliness, we're going to see the average number of days that each project takes to enter project start, project exit, and services data into HMIS. So there will be three numbers for each project, one for project start, one for exit, and the other for services. And as I said, we are really close to publish it. We're just finalizing some last cosmetic details. So please be on the lookout for that. And as always, if you have any questions upon your review, please let us know. We really appreciate your feedback. So the idea is for this to be very useful for you to review data quality. So we want to provide very useful information in this dashboard. And yeah, that will be it for me. Are there any questions?
I'm not seeing any questions. So I'm gonna keep going. Feel free to submit something if you think of it.
Thank you.
All right. Linda.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So good morning, everyone. This is just a quick overview of all the topics that we will be going over at the Data and Performance meeting, which will be held on November 14th at 1:30 p.m. upstairs in the CASA room. So we will continue to cover more about sharing case notes in HMIS, a proposed change to the entries from homelessness measure, also rapid rehousing project performance reports, and also data on returns to homelessness.
Okay, and as a reminder, we are really close also to publishing the project performance analysis report for each project type. We previewed it in the September meeting. We should have something to show for the rapid rehousing data also at this next meeting. And system performance.
Okay, so this is just a little reminder regarding the system performance report. I know the due date is usually a little bit, it's a little bit earlier than usual because it's usually due in May. But this year, the system performance measures are to be submitted to HUD by February 28th. So we will be sending out corrections within the next month or so. So please be on the lookout for that. And that is it for me.
Okay, any questions on anything we went over, or is there anything that anyone would like to see in HMIS? Any quick demos or questions that they need help with? Everything's perfectly clear to everyone. Okay, so our next user meeting is going to be scheduled for the first week in December. Let me find that date. December 4th. So we will be sending out the meeting minutes from today's meeting, as well as a reminder for the next meeting, and the recording from today's meeting. We got a question, hold on. When entering a client for the first time, why is only the ethnicity a checked box selection instead of, why is the race a checked box selection instead of a drop down? So race is the only universal data element where you can choose multiple options for a client. You can choose, like white and Asian or any other combination of races, but all of the other data elements are a single select only, so that is why. Got another request to send the PowerPoint, will do. And we do publish all of our materials online also, so we have the minutes, the PowerPoint slides, the recording all on our website. It would be nice to have POCs on the demographics page, so having two primary points of contact to find the client when they lose their phones. We had decided to use the contact page for client contact information because once coordinated entry is up and running for both individuals and families, if a client doesn't have a contact, the user will be notified saying that they're missing a contact, since that's such a key piece of information in order to work with the client. So that's why, as of now, we're keeping all of the contact information on that page, because we do want to make sure it's on that contact page, and there's some concern that if a user enters it on the profile page, they won't also enter it there, and that's where it's really needed. So that's why we haven't done that as of now, Stephanie. So look out for our email sometime this week, and if there's any other questions, please enter them now. If you haven't already, please enter your agency name so we know who was attending the webinar with us today. And thank you guys so much for attending, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day.